Are you undocumented and you have a US citizen child who is over the age of 21 who is just mean to you? They're cruel, they insult you, they make you feel bad because you don't have your papers. In this video, I'm going to talk about one possible option that may help you to receive your papers based on this. My name is Ashley. I'm an immigration attorney and I've been practicing immigration law for nearly 13 years. In this video, I want to talk about the situation of an undocumented parent with an adult US citizen child who is mistreating them in a lot of different ways. Now, this is a case type known as VAWA. VAWA is for undocumented parents of adult US citizen children with whom they have lived at some point, and their US citizen child is inflicting extreme cruelty and different kinds of abuse onto their parent. One thing I want to say right from the get-go is that this case type does not require that your US citizen child is physically abusive to you. This means that there's no requirement that your child has ever physically harmed you. This case type can be based on other kinds of mistreatment. Now, of course, if your US citizen child has ever physically harmed you or tried to physically harm you, absolutely, there's a very good chance that you will qualify for this case type as well. But it's important to know that that is not a requirement to receive a benefit under VAWA. What are some examples of the kinds of mistreatment that we see in our office in these case types of parents who are applying for their papers based on mistreatment from their adult US citizen child? This can look like having a child who becomes very aggressive in their demeanor and in their language during arguments. If they raise their voice and they yell at you, or they act like they want to hurt you, but they don't, or they make threats about contacting immigration, calling immigration to report you when they're angry with you for whatever reason, as a way to make you feel fearful that they might actually do that. And that could lead to you being deported from the United States. It can look like having a child who is living at home with you, an adult child who is living at home with you, who is refusing to help in any way around your house, who is refusing to work to help contribute to the expenses of the household, who tells you that it is your job as their parent to provide everything for them, even though they are an adult and capable of working, and they are choosing not to do that because they believe that it's your responsibility indefinitely to provide for them, on top of being extremely disrespectful and extremely aggressive in their demeanor during arguments with you. Essentially, it's a situation of having an adult child who is very cruel towards you in different ways, who is trying to manipulate you by making you feel bad if you don't do exactly what they say you should be doing as their parent, and who uses your immigration status to intimidate you and to try to make you feel fearful that at any moment they might contact immigration when they're upset, or they might call the police to make a false allegation against you, as a way to intimidate and scare and manipulate you into continuing to do what they want you to do. So these are just some examples to give you an idea of situations where we are able to help parents in this situation to apply for their papers without their US citizen child knowing. That means that this case type is extremely confidential with immigration. It is treated very differently than other case types in immigration. Mail for this case is never going to go to your home. It's going to go to your attorney's address. Your US citizen child is not going to have to sign any paperwork for this case because they won't know about it. Okay, they have no way of knowing about it unless for some reason you decided to mention that you are filing this case type, which most people in this situation do not mention that. One other question that I get a lot about this case type from the parent is, if I decide to pursue this case with immigration, is this going to negatively impact my child? And this is a very valid question. And we understand in my office, and immigration is trained to understand that even though a parent may be seeking their papers based on this kind of abuse from their US citizen child, that at the end of the day, it is still your child. It is still somebody that you love. It is still a person that you care for, and you do not want this to in any way negatively affect your child. And the answer to this question is no. This case type does not negatively affect your child in any way whatsoever. So you can have the peace of mind of knowing that this is something that you are doing to help yourself to get out of a difficult situation with an adult US citizen child. And again, this is why the requirement is that your child be an adult, which means over the age of 21, because immigration understands that at that point, your child is no longer a child in the sense of not fully perhaps understanding what they're doing and how their behavior is impacting you. They are presumed to have that understanding as an adult, and it's not okay from immigration's perspective, which is why this case type exists for parents who are experiencing this to be able to come forward and to gain a work permit, and in many cases, their green card if they have been experiencing this kind of mistreatment from an adult US citizen child. It allows them to stand up more for themselves without having that fear that their adult child is going to turn around and contact immigration to try and get them deported, without having that fear that they, their child, or maybe not the fear, but just without that feeling that I know a lot of my clients have of feeling inferior to their child because of the words that their child says to them, the hurtful words they say, such as, you are not a US citizen, you don't have papers, you're a nobody, I'm better than you, you need to do what I say because I'm legal and you're not. Just having that work permit and that green card really allows a parent to feel empowered and to stand up more to their adult child who, of course, they still love, but it just gives them that sense of empowerment to take back some control in their life if they are in this very difficult situation with an adult US citizen child. So I hope you found this video helpful. If any of this sounds familiar to you, or you're not sure if the kinds of problems that you may be having would qualify for this case type under VAWA, don't hesitate to contact us to schedule a consultation to find out more if this case could benefit you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, contact us at 760-812-3778.